pull up a comfy chair and hold on to your chicken tenders because you're watching Game Explorer. Raining. Rain. Oh, look at you. Look at you. Rain, you want to do top 10 swords? Okay, I'll do the top 10 swords.
Number 10. The Iron Sword. Every game ever. Now this sword makes it not because of quality, but because of quantity. This is usually the first sword we get on our journey, and without it we probably never would have slayed that first moblin that crossed our path, and never even had a chance to save the princess, or restore world peace, or survive long enough to get the diamond we so deeply wanted. Thank you, Iron Sword. Number 9. Soulcalibur. Soulcalibur 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6? Anybody? 6? Can we get a 6? 6 would be nice. Now let's clarify. Soulcalibur, Soul Edge. Soulcalibur, Soul Edge. Got it? Yes, they are the same sword, but they are different swords at the same time. I know, confusing. The intro of Soulcalibur 2 tried to explain it. Why is this on the list? Well, one of the most iconic game franchises was named after it for one, and for another, the entire Soulcalibur roster is on a journey to find it. That's a lot of people. I think it gets the nod for that alone. Number 8. Darth Maul's dual-sided lightsaber. Star Wars Battlefront 2. And multiple other games, but that's the one we're going with. Now, when The Phantom Menace came out in 1999, it was more like a menace to society. But one of the best and only good points to it were the appearance of Darth Maul and his terrifying two-sided lightsaber. The fight between Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon Jinn is, in my opinion, the best fight in the entire series. As far as the game goes, I'll let this video do the talking. Number 7. Diamond Sword, Minecraft. So for those of you who don't know all that much about diamonds, I'll explain how this works. First off, punch a tree until you get a stick from it. Don't worry, this is science. Next, dig down until you're nearly at the center of the earth, and then dig sideways until you either die from unexpected lava, or till you find a diamond. Then, go to a table and put the stick under 2 diamonds. And poof, diamond sword. Oh, and I also have one on my keychain. Yeah, that's a thing. Number 6. Infinity Blade, Infinity Blade 1, 2, and 3. Now, in the game Infinity Blade, there are creatures called Deathless. These creatures cannot die, unless they are stabbed with the Infinity Sword. You play through the game to get revenge on the man who killed your father. At the end of the game, it turns out that you yourself are also a Deathless. So would the right thing be to kill yourself? I'm not sure, but look how cool the sword is. And now for a very controversial pick at number 5. Onage, Pokemon X and Y. It's a sword. It's a Pokemon. It's alive, but it's still a sword, right? Well, yes and no, hence the controversy. So let's start with it is a sword. Just look at it, it's a sword. One of its moves is called Sword Dance. all the fan art shows people using it as a sword. Its Pokédex calls it a sword. Well, kinda. Now for it not being a sword, if you read the rest of the Pokédex entry from X, it says, apparently, this Pokemon is born when a departed spirit inhabits the sword. It attaches itself to people and drinks their life force. And then from Y, if anyone dares to grab its hilt, it wraps a blue cloth around that person's arm and drains that person's life energy completely. Well, that's creepy. Also, it evolves the more you use it. How many other swords will either duplicate or produce a shield out of nowhere just from using it? Number 4. Levin Sword, Skyrim. I know, there were a lot of swords to choose from when looking at Skyrim. I could have gone with the Ebony Sword for being the most aesthetically pleasing sword, or the Dragon Bone Sword for having the highest stats in the game. I went with this one because this is the first sword you get that makes you feel powerful. It's an early sword you get, and easy to acquire by either mining the materials or ambushing a Thalmor patrol, which may have been what I did on my first playthrough. But when you get it, you know that you are hot stuff. Do not mess with me. Number 3. Levin Sword, Super Smash Bros. 4. In this obscenely popular game, you can choose to fight as Robin. Robin. Robins? Anyway, they're from the Fire Emblem series. Apart from the amazing design of the sword, it is one of 2 swords the character carries, the other being the Bronze Sword, which is blue. The upside to the Levin Sword is that it deals a good bit more damage and has a longer reach. Now in Smash Bros, that makes a big difference. I like Robin. Good job, Nintendo. Number 2. The Vorpal Blade, Alice Madness Returns. What? You've never heard of the Vorpal Blade? You uncultured swine. But honestly, this sword makes it in because of its roots in literature, and not because of its game presence. Have you ever read The Jabberwocky? I would recommend it. It's a short story, poem-y thing, by Lewis Carroll. As for the game, it's incredibly dark and gory. Still really fun, but watch out for the opening cutscene. You might get nightmares. Number 1. The Elucidator and the Dark Repulsor, Sword Art Online. Okay, so Sword Art Online is an anime about a video game called Sword Art Online that the characters are trapped in. If that doesn't count as a video game, they also made a video game for the PS Vita, and have announced 2 more games to be released this summer. The Elucidator, for starters, is the rarest sword a player can get from a monster drop. The Dark Repulsor is crafted by a Master Smith from a rare metal that can only be harvested by a Master Smith, guarded by a giant dragon. The 2, when dual-wielded, can single-handedly take down a high-level boss. Not to mention, they are beautiful. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you want to see some of my Let's Plays, I've got those right there for you. And if you want to see some of my top 10 lists, I've got those right there for you. And if you want to subscribe, I've got that somewhere in here for you. Thanks for watching, and remember, eat more chicken tenders. Wait, my head.
Above your head?
Yeah, like when I just look up on my character, something above me is smoking.